Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Boozy Botanical Podcast. My name is Holly,
I'm Angelique.
and happy Boozy Tuesday, bitches.
Holly came here to take names. Look at that.
Well, because I was remembering like Boozy Tues, and I'm just like, I don't know, I'm having like bad bitch energy this week. So,
I mean, I've seen your TikTok. I'm into it. Every time you post a little dance video, I'm like, yes, queen, yes.
plant moms can get it too. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think it's amazing and I'm obsessed with it.
Maybe I shouldn't be dancing, but I'm still doing it.
What
So,
do you mean? Of course you should be dancing.
no, it's
Dancing
just
is
kind
the
of,
international language of love and life.
yes, that's
That's what
right.
I call it. Well, Holly, before we get started, what are you drinking today?
So I'm back with good old Truly lemonade in the watermelon flavor. It's so good.
If we didn't know better, we'd think that you worked for them.
Oh my gosh. We need to get a sponsorship from them at some point because we are like their biggest fans.
Yeah, we're
Them
the
and
only
Liquid
people that buy
IV.
them.
What are you
That's
drinking?
amazing. So I went back to my roots. I don't think I've ever had this on the pod, but you've had it with me one time. I think it was our first boozy botanical night drink. My
Oh,
box sangria.
oh heck yes.
So this
Yum.
is the fruity red sangria from Franzia, which is an amazing boxed wine that you can buy at the store for like I think it's like 40 glasses of wine equivalent and it's
Oh
like
my god.
$11.
Yeah, it is
It's
not bad.
so good.
So good, dude. It also reminds me because we took the trek down to Trader Joe's recently and we got a small box sangria. So it just
Yeah.
reminded me of that and it was really good. And it reminded me of that particular sangria that we got for Boozy Botanical Night, our very first
Indeed.
one.
It is so good and I'm just obsessed with it because literally I don't drink like crazy when I'm not on the podcast. So I don't drink a lot. So like for me, I've had this box for like I think since pre-pandemic.
Oh my god.
And it's just I have it set up like a keg. I'm not like a keg, sorry, like a like a draft. Because it's so
Yes.
the great thing about this box is you like punch out the little dotted line part and then it has a nozzle, like a plastic nozzle you pull out, and then you gotta twist her open or twist her closed whenever you need something. So I just have it set up in the pantry like a draft. So I just go and then and then it's
You have
done.
to put ice or anything? Because I like mine chilled.
You know, I'm going El Natural with this one. I probably in hindsight, I should have put ice in it because in order to just so you guys know, in order to do the podcast out of my living room, I have to utilize every outlet, which means that my window AC unit gets turned off and I am
Oh,
sweating balls.
dude, I had no idea. Oh,
Well, I mean, for those of you that watch us on YouTube, you've seen that I have multiple backgrounds, and that's because my boyfriend works from home full time and we share the office as like our creative space, business space. So he gets priority during the week. So whenever we record on weekdays, I usually don't get the office, which is where the greenhouse is. So I have to like rearrange the living room in order to record.
but I will say I love your background, like the colors
Thank
with the
you.
fiddly fig. It's looking so good.
Courtesy of grow lights from Amazon. So
No one needs to know that, but you know what?
It's the same grow light, there we go,
Grow
that's what
light.
it's called. Oh my goodness, it's the grow light that you referred me to that they sent you a free one, and then they sent
Yes.
me a free one, and I was like, "This is what it feels like to be an influencer."
And all you don't even have to make a video, just a review on Amazon. That's good enough.
You know, that's something just for those planty people out there that are on Instagram, if you ever get a message, like a friendly message, but it kind of looks a little scammy about like, "Hey, we have a product on Amazon. Would you be down to receive one and we'll reimburse you through PayPal?" I'm not going to say it's always legitimate, but in our experience, it's always been legitimate. So it's
Yes.
just oftentimes that these sellers are from out of country. So I think sometimes the English is limited, just like in terms of writing, but they've always been really friendly. And the thing that made me feel good about it is that Because
I did
it
it
does
first.
feel scammy. Yeah, you did it first. I was like, "Holly did it, so I know I won't get scammed." Well,
I'll be
the
the guinea pig.
yes! Well, the thing that made me feel better was they were like, "Hey, put it in your cart, tell us the total with a screenshot, but don't order
Mhm.
it, and then we'll PayPal you, and then you can order it." So there
Which
was
is
the
so
good
brilliant.
faith.
I was like, "Dang, okay."
I thought that was really nice. So, like, the good faith was there,
Yeah.
and I've gotten a few different products. Potey has even done that a few times, which I thought
Yes,
was
I
really cool.
remember. Yes, I remember when Potey was kind of, like, on the rise,
Mhm.
maybe 2019 or something like that, and
Yeah.
they were gifting so many plant people stuff, and at first I was kinda like, I don't know," but, like, I still to this day will purchase their pots because 'cause they're really good, they're,
They're
again, on
gorgeous.
Amazon. Yeah, it's, like, probably the most popular, like, planter brand on Amazon, and, like,
So for
back in
ceramic.
yes, they do have,
They have
terracotta
terracotta?
though too.
What? I've
Yes.
never noticed. Wow.
Yes, actually, my favorite pots that they've ever put out are these footed terracotta. They come in a set of 2, and they are, like, 2 different sizes or height.
Wait a sec.
Yeah.
Was this your earthquake terracotta?
My earthquake terracotta,
Oh,
yes.
no, you have to tell everyone about your earthquake terracotta.
Okay, dude, so when we were in Glendale, well, it was during quarantine, there was, like, a couple earthquakes, and this particular one was pretty decent in size, and the whole house was, like, obviously shaking. It kind of felt like there was, like a truck that ran into our house, but everything was shaking. It was, like, one of those really kind of scary ones, and the only thing that fell off a shelf and broke was my favorite pot from Potey, and at the time, they had only it was, like, their first batch that came out, so they were out of stock for, like, a month, and
Oh,
I was so worried that I messaged them and I'm like, "Are you guys getting these back again?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're working on it."
they're
They were
like,
nicer
"Holly, you
than
need to
that, but
calm down. We've given you so many things. You need to just, like, stop."
like, "Please take my money." But, yeah, all that to say, it came back in stock and I now I have 3 because they come in a set of 2s now. Yes, but, it's such a gorgeous it's a gorgeous pot, and I think it ranges between, like, 27 and 35 bucks, you know how the prices can fluctuate, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you, it is gorgeous. I love it. Like,
I
my special plants get priority with them.
You actually gave me a really beautiful Potey white pot, correct? For my
I
birthday?
did, yes, that was from
It
Potey. I have it in pink. I'm like,
Do you
"Angelique is
really?
gonna love it." Mhm. Yes.
Yay! So I have that one from them, and then I have guys, I promise you guys a lot of things via Instagram and TikTok, and then I never post. So I apologize in advance. I will one day post it. Like, I'm
Yes.
so bad that I posted a part 1 of TikTok, and I was like, "I'll post part 2 tomorrow," and then I forgot for over a week, and I still haven't
Oh,
posted
no.
it. It's been a cliffhanger for quite a while.
You're really building the suspense. We get it, though, you're just
I felt
building the
so
suspense.
inspired it was like the day I had to it's because I had things to do that I was like, "No, this is the day I have to do a TikTok when I have no time." So that's when I started recording, like, my "All plants need water" TikTok, like, the
Yes.
panic. I found, like,
Yes.
some Freddy Krueger music, and it was like, "This is my horror story." But, one of the plants that has a really cool Potey planter is my Orbifolia, the baby pink one that you helped me
That's
pot
such a
up.
pretty one.
It's like an 8 inch it's an 8 inch, I think, pot with, like, bubbly balls on them,
Yes. It's
and it's
like
like a
the
soft baby
Epcot
pink.
ball from Disney World was a planter.
Yes, literally. Yes. Oh, I love it. They have gorgeous stuff, and I think it's fairly affordable, like, obviously,
I think
based on
so
the
too.
size, it's gonna be more, but if you want something that's, like, different, that isn't always, like, the same type of pots, I think they're really cute.
And it's cool too because, I remember even just like maybe 3, 4 years ago, Amazon was really lacking in the planter pot department. Like it was either very expensive or just not cute. And then they just didn't have a whole lot. So I feel like Potey was the first brand that was like really made it a point to have pots with drainage holes, with
Oh,
a
wow.
modern aesthetic. So
Mhm.
yeah, I have nothing really bad to say about them.
Neither do I. I think they're wonderful, and I like it that they give you the little plug. I don't know why I like the plug so much, like,
It's nice.
I just like, well, because there's always a tiny bit of dirt that falls out, and it's just nice that, like, I have the option to not destroy my tables, you know?
Yes,
I
or if
like
you're
it.
repotting, I'll leave it in until it's fully repotted, and then boop, I'll pull it out and a little bit of soil
Bye-bye.
comes out, but it's not that bad.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, but Angelique, how was your week? Tell us.
Oh, it was good. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a minute.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because we haven't recorded in a while. So the last time I chatted with you guys, I think I was getting ready for Arizona. I have gone and come back since. And it
Okay.
was it was a good trip. There were setbacks, like my parents not having AC during a heat wave in Arizona. It was fine.
How? How does that happen?
115 degrees for 3 days straight with
Jesus.
no AC. And then the
Oh,
and the fridge broke. And then what else happened? Let's see.
okay.
And then I I can't breathe.
I'm hyperventilating. Oh my gosh,
Oh
that
my so
is
they
no
have
joke.
a fairly old house, and, like, I think the house from, like, the '80s or something, and, which might not sound very old, but in Arizona, you really have to do upkeep on things like
Yeah,
AC, and my parents had gotten insurance for, like, the pool and for those AC and stuff, like, a year ago, and this company insured them. They were like, "Okay, yes, we'll insure you," and then the AC breaks, and they're like, no thanks. It's a little old for us to fix, so we're not gonna fix it." My parents are like, we've been paying insurance for a year for this exact thing."
yeah, what the
And then
hell?
and the pool was having issues as well. They wouldn't fix the pool, then they wouldn't fix the AC, so they were going back and forth with people coming to check out the AC for a couple
Oh
weeks.
my
'Cause
god.
when I went to visit them, so I went at the end of May, like, I went Memorial Day weekend for a small acting gig, and then the AC broke that weekend, like, it was already broken.
Oh,
So they
no.
went a couple weeks with no AC because I came back and it was still broken. It
How
would,
do
like
you even live like that? Did they have to get a hotel or, like,
nope.
swim
They
in the broken pool?
Yep.
Oh god.
Like, my mom is pretty good with pools, so she was able to, like, work on it. I think she patched it herself because there was a leak, like, she had to drain it, did a whole thing, but
Mm,
they would just, like, jump in the pool every day and be like, 10 minutes of solace, I guess, but,
jeez.
what happened? So, like, someone would come, they would do, like, a little fix, and then it would break again a few days later. It was, like, that whole thing, and then people were saying, like, "It's gonna take $6 to $8,000 to fix this," and we're like,
Oh
"You're
my
insane." My parents are
god.
trying to sell the house, like, we're not that's crazy, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And so then I came back, AC is still broken, and the person like, there was just, like, a lot of back and forth, and most days, honestly, it was tolerable because heat rises. So my bedroom is upstairs, but, like, at a certain time of night, I would open the window and, like, that desert breeze would come in,
Okay.
and then my mom would just sleep downstairs because she's like, "It's coolest downstairs," and my dad was just
Yeah.
making do. We were all in separate rooms,
Oh.
but, that was that. So we were making do, and then there was just one day where I was, like, not in the mood. The
Oh,
other thing is
no.
that I was helping my parents move. So the house they were moving to that they own, so, like, they can kinda move slowly, that place has AC. So we spent as much time there
Okay,
as we could, and we would
that's
take the
good.
dog with us. But it was Sunday night last week, and my mom insisted. She's like, "No, no, no." She's like, "Your room is the hottest room in the house. You need to sleep downstairs tonight." And I was like, "I'm really fine." And she's like, "No, no, 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 sleep downstairs." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, whatever." And then she slept in my room, and it was the worst night I had, was when I was downstairs because
No.
it's, like, not even a sofa. My mom has, like, a fainting chase sorta sofa thing. It's
Like that
very
you
small.
lay on to get your painting done.
Yeah, like, draw me like one of your French girls sorta sofas. Yes. She went upstairs, I was laying there watching TV with Chanel, her dog, and Chanel is a real bed hog, like, she's a human hog, she just wants to be on you all the time, so I woke
She's
up
a
a few
bully, right? A bull terrier?
Yeah.
No.
So, I woke up a few hours later, again, this is it's more narrow than, like, a twin bed, so you can like, I wake up and she had wedged herself between me and the edge of the sofa, so I literally couldn't move unless, like, I just totally got up, and it made me so pissed off, like, I was in, like, a
Oh,
tired mood,
yes.
that I was like, "Ugh," and I started because she's hot she made me hot. So
Yeah.
then I picked her up, her, like, 40 something pound self, put her on her dog bed. Of course, she didn't stay. She jumps back up and lays on top of me, totally enveloping my body. I think I'm naked at this point. I'm so hot. I'm
Oh
just
my
done.
god.
And then I march upstairs like a little toddler having a tantrum because I was half asleep. My mom hears me banging around pillows trying to find something to sleep with, and she's like, "What?" Like it's like, and I was like, "So no one let me sleep, and it's so hot, and I can't do this anymore."
Oh my gosh, what did your mom say?
She's like, "Okay."
She's half asleep too. Like, what?
I think she got mad. She was like, "I'll go downstairs." I was like, "No, you don't have to go. I just want you to know that I'm not in a good mood."
So cute little
Such a
beast
toddler. I was so
you.
the next day I was so ashamed. I was like, "Mom, that was a dark, dark moment for me. I'm sorry." She's like, "There's no need for you to have an attitude like that again." I was like, "I know. I am admitting that I was
I'm
out of line."
apologizing.
And then but, like, we were so done. We were just my mom and I were both, like, in a mood, so we packed up everything because I had 1 more night in Arizona
Yeah.
or in Tucson. So we packed up everything, and my dad was like, "Where are you going?" We're like, "We're going to the new house. We're gonna figure it out." And so
I
we
would
go.
too.
Yeah, we go, and then he got someone to fix it that day. So we came back, and then that night the fridge broke.
Oh god.
So
It's
it's
like
9:45
house.
at night, and my mom and I are running around town trying to find bags of ice. Apparently, there's an ice shortage, apparently.
There is, dude, even in Florida.
It's crazy. So we go
Yeah.
to Walmart, we're like, "That's the cheapest ice. They're gonna have plenty." They had no bags. And
Oh,
this is 9:45, so then we, like, are running down the street 'cause there's an Albertsons and a Safeway on the way. I'm calling and no one's gonna pick up when they close at 10.
at a
So
grocery
we
store.
go to Albertsons. It was such a movie. My mom pulls up. She's driving, like, this old Cadillac. She pulls up like, "Arr!" to the front door. I jump out, and there's a guy at the door being like, "We close in 2 minutes." And I was like,
Okay, it's gonna
"I need
take
ice. My
you.
fridge is broken." He's like, and then he was like, "Oh, go to the end, go to the end." And so I'm running and I grab 5. My mom told me to grab 4 and I was like, "I'm grabbing 5." So I grabbed 5 bags of ice and I don't have enough hands or body strength. So
And
I'm
it's from
dragging one.
freezing.
I'm dragging one with like my pinky or something. And everyone's looking at me like, "Oh, that's one of the druggies of Tucson. Like she's definitely on meth or something." Like I'm like, "Ah." Um and then I get to the line, I finally pay for it, and then I get back to the front. He's like, "Do you have insurance, ma'am? Maybe they can help you." And I'm like, "Don't talk to me about insurance."
Oh, what a concept, insurance? I'm a woman. How would I know? Can you mansplain that a little more? Thanks.
He meant well, but I was just like, "You don't even know what's gone on with insurance."
Right.
It was so bad. It was so bad that my parents like they were so upset with insurance. The insurance literally just refunded the remainder of their policy. We're like, "We'll just not insure you. Like, we're not gonna cover it." So
Oh my god.
I'm like, "Okay, I guess."
Thanks.
Yeah, but, yeah, so then that happened, but the last night we technically had AC, and then I found my parents a fridge on Facebook Marketplace.
Of course you did,
So,
'cause you're
got
the Facebook Marketplace
do what
queen.
I can for, like I think we paid, like, 525 for it or something,
Oh, wow, okay.
and it was like a Samsung fridge or whatever. It looks nice, so I'm like I mean, obviously, it's used, so
Right.
whatever. They claimed it was amazing, but I don't know. We'll see. It was an experience for
I
sure.
bet. Oh my gosh, you're like, "I'm just glad to be home
Yeah,
in
but
the past. I'm gonna
but the
stay
visit was
there."
yeah, but the visit was really good. I actually wanted
Good.
otherwise, I wanted to ask you, have you been to Jerome, Arizona? Because that's where I went.
Yes. It's been a while, but it is such a cool town.
Holly, let me tell you,
You stay.
I was so inspired by this town. I'm starting to write a script.
Oh,
Like,
that's
I'll have
amazing.
to tell you off air or else, like, we won't never get into our topic eventually, but, like,
I
anyone
can't
who's
wait.
going to Arizona, go to Jerome. It's like our best kept secret. Did
Mhm.
you know it
Well,
was
there's a
labeled
film festival in
in
Jerome, or there
Jerome,
used to
right?
be, yeah. That's really
There's
cool.
a lot of, like, artists and stuff I noticed, which was really cool.
Yep.
Did you know it was called the wickedest town in America at one point?
Yeah, well, isn't it, like, haunted or something? Like, I know there's a haunted hotel.
I I spoke to the afterlife, Holly, when I was
What?
10.
Okay, you need to tell us this. Like,
I Everyone's telling me that I definitely got scammed. I refuse to believe that.
wait, how are you
Um,
scammed by hearing a ghost? How
well, I paid for a ghost tour, so was pretty cool because we went on a Wednesday, so, like, Jerome was dead. So
Nice.
dead to where some stuff wasn't open. They're just like, "It's not worth it to be open." But the ghost tour still took us. We paid in advance, and it was just my group, like, no one else paid for this tour. And they were so nice. Our tour guide filled us in later that she is actually, like, she's a medium, like,
Oh, wow.
she identifies as an intuitive, and I think she was saying
Oh,
that she works with, like, families that want closure from someone who's passed and, like, needs
okay.
to, like, converse with them or whatever. I guess
Right.
she says that she can, like, sense presences sort of thing.
Okay.
And she also so she, like, lives in, like, a permanent sort of RV. So she's from Florida, actually, and she's
Oh,
traveled
funny.
she's been in Jerome for a couple years, and she's probably gonna head back and start her own business with, like, the afterlife back in Florida. So it's interesting, but
Sounds
she's
very
working.
interesting.
Yeah, I know it's for a select group. I've never been, like, crazy about ghosts, but, like, I
And
don't
when in
take
Rome.
when in Rome, literally, when in
When in
Jerome.
Rome. Oh my god, we were so cheesy.
So cute though. I really
We
went
need
in
to make
Jerome
a
for
T-shirt
sure.
that says that. When you're in Jerome, it needs to say "When in Jerome."
They are missing a real marketing opportunity.
Yes.
Oh my god, if we do a little boozy trip to Jerome, we'll just make little plan
Oh,
t-shirts
Jerome.
when in Jerome.
We'll just have to have, like,
There's a lot
wine glasses and, like, drink red
mhm.
wine and sangria.
There's a lot of alcohol in Jerome, so but,
Okay, so tell us about the ghost you spoke to.
okay, so I get it. I get like, for me, it's always been like, I never was like, "I believe in ghosts," but I was also never like, "I don't believe in ghosts." Like, to me, it's like
Yeah.
I think it's like the scarring of growing up in a religious home that you're like, especially, like, when
No,
there's Catholicism involved, you're like, "There has to be ghosts."
it's
So
demons or something.
right, exactly. For me, it's like I wouldn't put it past anyone that, like, I think energy can maybe exist.
Yeah,
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not like someone who's like crazy into it, but I'm
yeah,
also not closed off to it. Like,
yeah,
we'll see. I'm just kind of like, we'll see.
yeah.
I'm not gonna go into the tour being like, let's see this stupid thing. Like,
Right.
I I paid to be entertained on this tour and I'm gonna go all in. Like, I
Yes.
me and my yeah, me and my best friend, so there's 4 of us, and me and my best friend Hannah, we were a pair, and then our friends Robbie and Rose, who are together, they were a pair. So she
Okay.
gave us, like, Things-esque radio transmitter things on an AM radio, like, thing, like, what's
So
it
she's
called?
getting a little Ghostbuster.
Yes, super. She claimed that, like, it wasn't an active line where, like, music would play and stuff, and so we went to a few different areas that are known to have a lot of death. So we went
Ooh,
to, like, the mine, like, outside the
okay.
mine area, and she was telling us about people that she's successfully contacted, and one girl was named Gabby, and she believes that she was an opera singer because there was 2 opera houses in Jerome way back when, and anytime Gabby communicates, it's, like, in song,
Okay.
and
Oh,
then
why am I already getting chills?
I know! And then there was a few other because there's an underground. I don't know if you remember, there's, like, a whole underground railroad for, like, 31 miles in Jerome.
Oh, okay, I don't remember, but
It's,
yes.
you could move within the mines underground, and they had an
Okay,
actual railroad system. It was, like, the earliest sort of subway, you could argue.
okay.
And, so there was she thinks that another person that sometimes will, like, show his presence was, like, a person in charge of the little train or, like, a conductor because you hear, like, a chugga 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 sometimes.
Ugh.
I know, and, like and there's also, like, a little boy. I didn't hear really the little boy, but, like, there was a little bit of, like I think his name was Mike, I don't know, of, like, the railroad guy, but yeah, like, me and Hannah were, like, talking. She's like, "You can say hi, introduce yourselves, like, you can ask if
Yeah.
they're there, ask how they're doing, like, whatever." But she's like, "You might not get a response." And she's like, "They've even told me I have to be patient because sometimes it takes them
Oh,
time." I'm like,
mm.
"Okay." And then we hear, like, a "Kirk" sort of thing, and we're like, like and then I got some stuff on tape, by the way, I'll show you later.
Ooh,
But,
okay, okay.
we were, like, talking, and we were like, "Maybe this is Gabby or whatever."
Okay.
And, at one point, I think I asked her, I was like, "Can you see us?" And she
Yeah.
was like, "That's a great question." And I was like, "Thank you. I kinda ask good questions." And then, we we got, like, something small, but not much of a response, and then at one point, I don't remember what I said. I think I might have asked, like, "Would it be okay if we heard you sing?" I even asked her consent is important. I asked if it's okay if
Aw.
I recorded.
Yeah. That's good though, because I've heard stuff like that, like, you have to ask
Yes.
permission and,
I was
like
like, "Gabby, do you mind that my cellular device is recording? You might not know what that is, but it's a it's a thing from like 100 years later where you can
and don't worry, I'm an Apple person, so it's good. I'm
Yeah,
not an
it's not an
Android
Android,
person.
Gabby. Yeah, you don't know what an Android is, but just to keep it that way.
I keep it that way.
So then I don't know what was said, but then we hear like a very because everything was very like staticky,
Okay.
like you would on like a dead radio station, like a very like you'd hear like shh, shh. So like that that was higher pitched, you could argue was like a communication. And then out of nowhere, we heard ah, totally crisp. And
Oh my
I
god.
thought I was gonna pass out. I was like,
Yes, I would too. Oh my
of course,
god.
that's when I wasn't recording because that's how it always goes in all the movies.
Uh-huh. Yes, of course.
And then I started recording and I asked if she would repeat her tune, and then
Yeah,
I got one on tape, but it was a little bit more muffled,
okay.
and everyone tells me it's a scam. They were like, "It's their machines, Angelique. They coulda just had, like, a thing playing from their
Right,
headquarters."
it's true.
And I was like, "I don't care. I spoke to Gabby. I paid for this. I had a good time, and I wanna believe she's real because it makes me
Yep,
feel good."
yep, exactly.
Josh was like, "Did you bring a presence into our home?" I was like, "Maybe I
Because
did. I don't
you
know. I
know
don't
that
care. She seems cool."
Mexican families don't fuck with that shit. He's like, "What'd you bring into my home?"
Yeah.
That's what my
Oh,
mom
it was
said, "You're opening the doors to evil." Oh,
oh god, it was so funny, but oh my god, I've this is gonna be a long episode, guys. I'm done. I'm pretty much done, but it was so much fun. Highly recommend Tracy at the ghost tours. She was great.
no. Nice.
Um, and yeah, I'm gonna write a script, so I'm gonna tell you all about it. But it was
Oh
cool
my
seeing
god.
like just like the desert plants and stuff too. Like I posted a picture on my planty Insta of like this big agave looking plant that was
Aw.
totally burnt to the crisp. Like I think it was dead, and then behind it there were live ones, and it was really cool seeing the juxtaposition of the two.
Wow.
And then I
That's so
found, like,
cool.
old trucks from, like, the early 1900s that had plants growing through them.
Oh,
It
wow.
was really cool, yeah, so highly recommend Jerome, guys, with
That's
air conditioning.
awesome. With AC.
For sure, for sure.
Oh my gosh, how
How
fun though.
it was such a good time, like, I was so inspired, like, there was someone that we learned about on the ghost tour, and then later that night we went to a bar, my friend's like, "You're being really quiet," and I was like, "I'm drunk and I'm reading obituaries trying to find this person's family, so I'm busy."
Sorry. I'm
Yeah, but
tired.
yes, I'll keep you posted though because I'm really excited. It was such a cool place, like,
That's so
oh,
cool.
so awesome.
I
How are
know.
you? How's
I'm
life?
good. Life is good. I haven't traveled anywhere fun or seen any ghosts lately, but I have just been working on my new terrazzo line actually, and I've been
I
really
saw.
yes, if you guys check my Instagram, well, by the time you're listening to it, it's already been posted, but I posted the first time my new pots, and I'm really excited because I've been getting really into like the product photography aspect because I'm trying a new
Yes.
sort of business model where I'm selling the items like individually as is. So I used to do like
Oh,
made to order sort of situation. And now like what you see is what you get sort of. So the item that you see on my shop is going to be the item you buy. So
oh,
because
cool,
of
the
that,
exact one in the photo.
yeah, so
Very
because of that,
cool.
I wanted to sort of invest in some photography backdrops and little props and things like that because I want to continue to because I'm gonna have to continue to take product photos and things like that every time we do a website launch. So I'm having a lot of fun with it. They are, if I do say so myself, looking
Yeah.
very cute.
I saw the picture you posted and I was like, "This looks gorgeous." Like, it was you could tell you really thought out the little photo shoot you did for your
Thank
stuff, and I was
you.
like, this looks amazing. Like, I think your old stuff from when you were in California looked curated as well, but this was on having the levels really upped the ante. Does that make
I
sense?
think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I just wanted something that looked like things that I'm inspired by as far as like product photography. I'm like, I want to try something like this, but put my own spin on it. So
Yeah.
yeah, stay tuned. There's going to be a lot more fun exploration with all of that. So
Oh, yay. Oh, that's
yes.
exciting. Do you have a favorite out of the colors you released?
Well, I actually really like this purple and pink one, and then this very simple, like bright dark blue with all white chips. I think that one turned out really cute. And I've
Ooh.
been experimenting with like these larger trays that I'm not quite ready to sell yet, but I've been having a lot of fun with those.
Oh,
Um,
cool. Like, they're
well,
only trays, they're not connected to a pot?
no, yeah, they're like
Very
fairly
cool.
large trays. I'll have to show you off camera, just so we don't take up so much time. But
Yes.
it's really fun. So I'm just like having so much fun with this new medium. As you guys know, I've stopped doing the painted pots. I mean, I will occasionally have some, but I'm just really enjoying this a lot. And I feel like it's allowing me to further my creativity. And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It's really cool. Can you tell the listeners, like, how long on average does it take you to make one?
So,
You
yes,
have a mold, you have it's like a lot of steps, way more than your painted pots.
it's true, which and funny enough, Tyson was saying, like, "You need to explain to people, like, they're very different because he's like, "I would have no clue." So what it is, it's an eco resin, which you can add some pigments to, and you can really get nice pigmented colors. So you basically mix it like you would resin, but it's a non-toxic one, and, yeah, you pour it into molds. In the past, I have made my own molds, and then I also have purchased some, so it's a little bit of both, and then you let it sit for about an hour or so, and then there's a time frame where you want to sand it because it's not fully hard yet, but it's obviously not going to like crumble to pieces, and then that's where it's you have a little bit more ease sanding it and revealing those like terrazzo chips that you guys see. So I do
Mm.
that, then, yeah, I make sure I sand it. I have lots of different grits to make sure it's like, it goes from like a tougher grit sander to like get the initial layer down so you can see the chips, and then it gets lighter and lighter. So it's more of like a smooth surface. And then I just seal it and I add some cork at the bottom with my little stamp so it doesn't like hurt any surfaces that you want to set it on. And yeah, that's kind of the process. There's really cool TikToks. What is her name? Parazzo, I think, on TikTok.
I love that.
I think that's her last name.
Oh,
And,
cool.
she is really good at showing the process of it, and then my literal bae, my role model in the terrazzo world is Katie Gilly's Surface Design on, Instagram. I love her so much,
Ooh.
like, I've actually been following her for, I wanna say close to 5 years, maybe a
Okay.
little less, so she's the first person that I saw do, work with Jessamine or eco resin, and
Yeah.
she's a queen, like, she's so talented, and she's kind of big time now, which is really awesome. But anyway, so there's lots of people that you can watch to see the process, which I do plan on filming on my end as well, just to kind of like, yeah, show the process. And I think it's such a like satisfying art to watch because you see
Yeah.
like how they make the chips and how they crumble it up and then sanding. And yeah, so it's really fun. It's like very oddly satisfying.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. So you've been busy is what it sounds like.
yes, I've been busy. So
Oh, well, good. But that's exciting. Like, you're doing stuff for you, not just for your job and stuff, which is really cool.
yeah, so I'm enjoying it a lot.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, Holly,
Yes.
before we get into our topic for today, can you
Yeah.
introduce us to our plant puppy of the week, please?
Oh my gosh, yes. Our plant poppy of the week is none other than Cameron, aka Market Botany. Now
Woohoo!
I found him on TikTok a little while ago actually, and he's such a fun plant dad. He's such a great presence on TikTok. Like I just love seeing his um videos come into my For You page, and
Yeah.
he's very smart. He's another Floridian. He
Ah!
I know. So his company is called Market Botany, and he actually just moved into a larger space where he's now recognized by the agriculture. What is that called?
Oh, it's called I have it right here,
People who are
the
in charge of
Department
agriculture.
of Agriculture.
Oh, there
There
we go.
we go.
He's
It's the department, guys.
the so he's recognized as an exotic plant nursery, which I think is so badass. He also he has a lot of stuff. Like he has a shop where he does
Tons of stuff on
website
his shop. Like, he has prop drops, which I thought were so cool.
crop drops. I think it essentially is to like stimulate root growth or root
A
activity
little
on your
supplement, yeah.
plants. He does a lot of plant drops. I think is it every Tuesday? I want to
Yes,
say.
he drops new plant inventory every Tuesday, yeah.
Yes, 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 yes. And then he also has 2 different kinds of soil blends, which I think is so cool. He has like a hydrating tropical soil blend and then a cactus and succulent mix. And yeah, so you guys need to check him out. He has a lot of cool stuff and he's just so much fun. You guys are gonna love him.
Very knowledgeable too, like, you can see a lot of his, like, plant parent content on TikTok and
Yeah.
a plethora of things that you can learn from him, and if you are shopping, I think he also has, like, a leaf shine spray, which I thought was so cool because I haven't used it yet, but I find myself, like, feeling like my leaves are looking kind of, like, faded
Yeah.
and stuff, which I thought was super cool, and, wasn't it, like, a ready-to-use neem oil spray as well?
Yes, so he has the neem oil, he has the leaf shine. Also, you know what I forgot to mention? When you buy a plant from his shop, he has like a QR code that it comes with, and if
Ooh,
you click on it, it brings up a page that tells you how to take care of it, like a little bit more, like a deeper dive into the plant that you purchase. So, yeah, it's
that's really
so cool.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, so, like, really ready to help and, like, super caring and stuff.
Yeah, like so much
Wow.
thought that's put into all of his products, and yeah, he's just great. You're the best.
Yay. Oh my gosh, before we wrap it up, he's also, doing a little bit of a rebranding for his plant care line, and
Right.
that debuts, like, the redesign debuts this coming July, so any
Ah,
minute now. So
any
you guys should give
minute.
him a follow at Market Botany on TikTok and the same handle on Instagram if you want updates.
Yes, yes. We
Thanks for
love
being
you,
our plant mommy, we
Cameron.
love you.
Oh my gosh, yay. So I'm excited for this topic.
I am too. Good on you for thinking of it. I love it.
Thanks.
What got you thinking about this topic, Holly? Anything in particular?
Well, I was just trying to honestly come up with ideas for episodes.
We're 22 in, guys. It takes a lot of racking the brain.
I know. And, I did notice that the Potted Together podcast has done a similar episode on like kind of reflecting back on things you've learned as plant parents or things that you thought when you first got into plants versus now. So I was
Yeah.
inspired by their episode actually. And I'm like, we could
Aw, so shout out
probably
to you guys at Potted Together, correct?
at Potted Together.
That's
They're the
our
best.
alum, Adam,
That's
and
right.
our alum plant mommy, De La Plants.
And Nicole from at My Clean Leaves. We got to get
Mhm.
her on the pod or as a plant mom.
Yes, that'd be
She's really
awesome.
great too. So absolutely. So we've just come up with a few little points about things that we used to do.
Yes.
I
Why
think
don't
it
you
was
start it off and then I'll jump in because I got problems for sure that I need to talk about.
okay. So let me see here. What were some of the things I used to do? So when it comes to watering, I used to like never know. Like I was always so like I had no confidence when it came to watering my plants. I was either so scared I was going to overwater them or
Mhm.
really scared to underwater them because you guys know I've told you I have a heavy hand with watering. I love to water my plants.
Yeah.
So I used to do like the finger in the soil method. I feel like that was a really popular tip that was going around.
The
And
1 inch deep method.
yes.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So many dirty like innuendos I can come up with, but
Oof.
yes, it was the fingertip where you put your finger in and if it comes out like with soil then then you knew that not to water it and vice versa. So but now honestly, oh the other thing too is I always had it on a schedule. So I was working full time, but Sundays were like watering days like no matter what, everyone got water. And now
Oh.
Literally none of my plants are on a schedule. Um, and of course, if you guys are listening to this and you feel a little discouraged, like, don't feel bad. It just comes with time. Because basically
That's
I can just kind
true.
of look at my plant by either feeling the leaves. Sometimes certain plants, the color of the leaves will change, and also the weight of the pot. So those are things that I've like learned now that really help. And then I do still have a moisture meter that I will use for like larger pots, or if I'm just like, I can't tell, and I'll use it. So I think it's still a handy tool, even if you are a seasoned plant parent.
Is there a specific number that you should look out for when you use a moisture meter?
I mean, I think if it says dry, so it kind of goes from like wet to like somewhere in the middle and then dry.
Okay.
I honestly, my sort of rule of thumb is I let all my plants dry out. Now
Yeah.
I'm not really big into ferns or begonia, but for the ones I do have, I don't let them get all the way dry, but like philodendrons and Hoyas and things of that sort.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I let it fully dry out. So I'm just basically looking for anything that's like not moist.
Got it.
That
Okay, cool.
helps,
That's
I
really
hope.
helpful. For
Yeah.
me, I never had a schedule per se, but I think I've definitely found confidence in like seeing signs with my eyes as opposed to like the finger trick, like you said,
Yeah.
or like for me, it wasn't until recently that I really paid attention to weight, like you were mentioning.
Mhm.
And like even like when I picked up this fiddle fig today to put it up here, I was like, I'm pretty sure this thing needs water. And then I picked it up and I was like, ooh, I don't think it needs water.
If you try to pick
But
it up and it goes flying in the air, maybe it needs water.
you know what? It reminded me of this. This has nothing to do with plants, but I took care of a little baby in Eagle Rock once. A little you met her, you met her, remember?
It's
And,
so
when
cute.
she lived in Eagle Rock, little baby, and she was so small, and I don't not that I don't work with kids that are, like, newborns, it's just I haven't gotten many opportunities. I normally work with, like, 1 and over, but she was, like, 6 months or less, and it was my first day working with her, and I had to change her diaper, and, like, my method is, um, to grab both little legs with, like, 2 fingers on my left hand, and I pick them up with 1 hand, do clean them up, and then I put a diaper on. And the kid that I'd been working with, because I had multiple families, one of the kids I worked, he was like 2.5, he was heavy.
Oh
So, like, I
gosh.
really had to hoist him up with my hand. I did it with this little girl, and I almost flipped her over. I was like, "You weigh 2
Like, I'm
pounds."
not that heavy.
I didn't actually flip her over, so don't come at me, guys, but, like, she was very light, and I was like, "Oh, I this took no effort at all," and now I think of her when I lift up plants. So it's important to have that in mind so I don't go too crazy.
Yes. Imagine like a 6-month-old baby versus a 2-year-old kid who should be potty trained already.
You know what? I'm gonna release that hydrometer. I'm gonna if that's what it's gonna be saying, it's gonna be like, is it a child? Is it a baby? Is it a child? Is it a toddler? What is it?
Is it a 3-year-old boy? Because it's always boys.
Is it a 50-year-old man? You probably shouldn't water it.
Oh my god, that's really good.
But it's so true. I think weight has really helped me a lot, and then understanding leaves. I think earlier on, like, I could tell if something was drooping, I was like, "Ooh, probably not okay." But,
Yeah.
like, still worried, like, when do I water it? But, now I definitely feel more confident. Like, I have a pothos in the sink right now because it was, like, flat on the ground, and I was like, "It's probably needs water." So but I think what's interesting, especially with pothos and, like, philodendrons in particular, they do, like, a gradual droop, so you can kinda
Yeah.
see, like, this is day 1 of the droop. If I don't have time today, day 2 will be okay. You can kind of, like,
And the
gauge
leaves curl.
exactly. So that's really cool. I think for me, I'm still learning about, not necessarily alocasias because I've gotten used to their curling habits,
They do, yeah.
but there's a few plants, like sometimes Hoyas, I don't notice right away. Like I really
'Cause
have
you
to
gotta
I have
feel
to touch
them
them. Yes.
because they get
I
wrinkled.
yes, because some of mine, like the little cute one you gave me, is so textured that sometimes if I see those textured lines, I'm like, "Oh, it's fine." And then I touch it and it's flimsy and I'm like, "Oh, it's not fine." And then I'm like,
Ooh,
"Okay."
like disguising. He's like, "This is fine, it's fine. You are not
Yes.
fine."
But it's been exciting learning how to, like, gauge it by looks because I used to be stressed thinking that I needed a schedule, so I tried to write one out, and then I just kept forgetting, and I was like, "I think I just need to do it by eye and, like, just
And
trust
it's
myself."
way more beneficial that way, honestly. It's
Mhm.
sometimes we don't always eat on an exact schedule, like right at noon,
Right,
eating lunch or,
totally.
so it kinda just, like, depends because there's so many factors that go into it, so
Yeah.
I think that's a way better, like,
Method.
philosophy. Yeah.
Yeah. My comfort is, like, in the wild, would they get water at this time every time? No. So I
Yeah.
just
It's not
hope
gonna
I
rain
try to
every day
keep it organic.
too.
Exactly.
Oh my god. Well, you know what? That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. How about for you with fertilizing? Was that something that you were doing from the jump, or were you terrified like me to touch fertilizer?
I think I was. Well, honestly, like when I first started with plants, I just didn't see the importance of it. And
Okay.
I think I was just kind of lazy. But then once I started doing it, I'm like, oh, that leaf finally opened up, or I'm seeing new growth, or there's more, you could tell there's more root growth. So now I'm like obsessed with fertilizing. Like I remember one growing season when I had tons and tons of plants. I was, you know, getting to the point where like I really loved plants and I had probably a little too much. I was like, "Okay, it's September, which is still fall, which is still considered growing season, so I'm gonna fertilize," things like
Yeah.
that.
Woo-hoo.
So, yeah, I still love fertilizing. I still get a little lazy every now and then, but
Yeah.
I think your plants definitely love it, especially if I don't want to either repot or do a soil refresh right away. It's a nice thing to do to a nice thing to do for your plants, but it helps. It's helpful, you know what I
Right.
mean? Like, they're getting that nutrients that they need, so I love it. I'm all for fertilizing. Fertilizing.
Fertilizing your plants.
Yeah.
I
Like
think for m
last episode, I was trying to say gallon, I said galleon.
Oh,
Remember?
oh, yeah, you little Game of Thrones moment. I think for me, I still get a little tentative about fertilizing, but I've definitely grown in confidence. I think for those of you that are maybe earlier in your plant journeys, I just jump to the Espoma organic. I think when you told me
Yes.
that one is hard to mess up, I felt a little bit more confident, but I think going for more of the like cheaper stuff is
Yeah.
more so you're more susceptible to burning. So I think some it's one of those like spend the money sort of moments,
I
you
think
know?
so too. If something's like a 111 or a 222, like you wanna look for those low
I don't know what that
numbers.
means.
It's the nitrogen, potassium, and something
Oh
value.
yes, we talked about this a few
Yeah.
episodes ago. Yeah.
So, just look for low numbers and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, because the measurements are so funny. It's like a teaspoon per gallon. I'm like, "This watering can is not a gallon. I'm just gonna eyeball it."
Literally, I'm always like, I think a drop with a lot of water makes sense,
It's those
question mark.
Latino measurements, I'm telling you.
They're the best. I feel like they can't be wrong.
Nope, no. But what about with, repotting? Were you the type of person who would repot right away? Or I remember there was a time when people were like, "No, don't repot. That's bad for your
Don't
plants."
stress them out, yeah. I'm, like, in the middle.
Okay.
So, for me, it comes down to, like, this plant that I just bought, do I want it to be in a lovely decor-driven pot, or do
Mhm.
I want it to be in just like a typical terracotta? Because I have tons of terracotta laying around, like little flower pots. But
Yeah.
do I want them in that, or do I want to like curate what pot they're in? And I don't often have gorgeous like ceramics or anything ready to go. Like I don't normally be like, I'm not what am I talking about? I don't go to the flower market like, I'm gonna buy this snake plant for this pot that I have waiting for it. Like I normally get the
Yes.
plants in my pot separately. So I think and I don't want to stress them out. So as a default, I don't think I repot right away because I usually don't have the pots I need for it. But
Yeah.
I'm not against repotting right away because I think I definitely was more like I can't repot them when I started.
Right.
But now I'm like, I wanna see what's going on because I don't know if these people took care of it. Who helped Oh, I'm sorry, really
No,
quick,
no.
the one you helped me with, my silver stripe, sh
Yes.
the lady that I bought it from, you met her, like, she had it in that same pot for, like, over 10 years, and we were like, "This thing's
Mhm.
blowing up, it must have great roots." So I didn't repot it for, like, 2 months because I didn't have a pot for it, and then
Right.
you and I finally depotted it, and so many of the of the roots broke off and were brittle.
Mhm,
And
'cause
it
they
was
were,
like
like, rotted way at the bottom, so
right, and if I had taken it out the day I got it, we would have known that 2 months earlier,
yeah.
which is
It's just
fine, it still
as you
bounced
learn.
back.
Yeah,
Right, right, it's definitely
totally.
a gamble.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I see the merit in both answers. When I first really got into plants, I would always repot right away. I was like,
I
"I need to
remember.
know what's going on. I need to see the root system." And plus, I always thought, like, somehow my soil blend was superior to anyone's.
The
But
Holly blend is the only blend, guys.
I mean, I feel like
You're responsible
now
at that point, yeah.
yeah, I feel like now I still would love to see how good the roots are or how bad the roots are. Um, but when it comes to repotting, I sometimes I'll just use some of the soil that it came with. If like I
Same.
let's just say I buy a Hoya and I trust the nursery or the grower, whoever, where I got it from. But I just want to put it in terracotta because I prefer the porous type of pot for how I water. Sometimes I will just use most of their soil because I trust what they have, or I can tell that there's still a lot of
Right.
organic things in it that it needs or whatever, and has a lot of drainage.
Yeah,
So it really just depends. Like I'm not gonna say one way or the other. I actually think it's worse to be so one-sided either way. Like if you're like, no, never repot, you might miss some really critical problems. But then on the other hand, you don't have to get it out of the pot if it's really happy and you can see that the soil's good and you got it from a reputable, place. So that's my
yeah.
take on it.
Yeah, I think, like, if you're unsure, you can test keeping it in the same pot for, like, 2 weeks, and if you
Yeah,
see that it's not doing great, it probably needs to get out of that pot ASAP, and, like,
I
it's a
agree.
gamble, but if you're unsure, just give it, like, a little, like, week or 2 trial, and you can see, and if you go to that nursery a lot and you see that all your plants are fine when they're in their little nursery pots, then fine. Like, I have some plants that have been in nursery pots for months because I just, like, have been lazy about it,
Mhm.
but they're doing great. So it just really just depends on where you get it from and just kind of feeling it out, you know?
It comes with time and the more confident you get, so I totally agree.
Right,
Um,
right.
I feel like I'm just gonna go through a couple, little roundup of funny random things I used to do, and Angelique, if you have any too, please
Oh my god.
interject, please.
Oh my god. Yep, I shall. Go ahead. Give us a little spitball, a
Okay.
little spitfire.
Okay, so here we go. A few things I used to do: put rocks at the bottom of my pots, paint
Yep.
terracotta without sealing it, and it would get all gross and nasty and like peel off. Ugh. Um, I would try to scrub away the patina of a terracotta because I thought it was mold.
Which, if you guys don't know, it's like when your terracotta gradually has, like, white streaks and stuff
Yeah,
develop. That's
totally
it's
normal.
is it technically calcium buildup, like in, like, a pool?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Water.
And yeah, like whatever's in your water or if you fertilize a little too
Minerals,
much
yeah.
or it's totally normal. I think it's also has to do with like oxygen and the water. I don't know.
It's, like, not dangerous though. That's the point.
No. And then funny enough, a lot of people want to achieve that look to get the more vintage rustic look, but I
Meanwhile,
was like,
Holly's, like,
ew.
scrubbing to her heart's desire, like, "Get off of my pot."
And then I'd be so upset when it would come back the next day. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Oh, that's so funny.
Oh my gosh. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I used to never have a preference of plants. I just wanted plants to call, and I wanted to call myself a plant mom for clout.
Oh god, Holly, you were like, "I'm gonna become an influencer, so I need all of them
Dude,
now."
that's actually what made me got into plants because at the time I was doing YouTube on like
Yeah.
travel within Los Angeles, and I'm like, oh wait a minute, I'm gonna talk about the flower market, so I need to actually own some fucking plants.
Oh,
And
that
then
is
I was like,
so
wait a
funny.
minute, I know nothing and I love all of them. Oh my god, and then, yeah, I feel like it was very, like, 2015 to call yourself a plant mom and have a bunch of succulents potted in, like, teapots or other random shit that you
Oh
find and
god,
fed it,
yes!
and it was really
Anything from the thrift store.
it's really just so ugly. And then, last but not least, this was the most shameful act I think I've ever done.
Oh
I
god.
put my hand-me-down cactus that was once, my grandfather's in a dark kitchen. and no windows.
It's a cactus, it'll be fine.
Yes. And then I had another cactus that I had out front of our apartment door. It was like one of those hallways,
I
and
remember.
yeah, yeah, there was no light.
No
This was
rock, right?
in downtown, actually.
Oh, okay. E-Rock had some light.
Yeah,
It
that
had
was
some
better
light.
compared to this, like,
Mm.
it's just dumb. Just stupidity. But, yeah, those were some, not so proud moments, but we have learned from it, we have grown.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, my very first plant that I talked about early on in our show was that succulent that I had for like 2 years that would hang indoors, and
Yes.
I put it I put it in a pot with a drainage hole, which sounds normal, right? Sounds
Yes.
correct. And I remember going to my aunt's house being like, "Do you?" Because she had some plants. I was like, "Do you have like a plate or like a little something I can do to cover up this hole?" Like, I think it's, like, getting in the way for whatever reason, and she's like, "Oh, here." She gave me, like, a saucer,
Yeah.
which I'm like, "Screw you, you had plants, you should have known this was the bad idea." Like, she
She's
just
like, "I don't know, go ahead."
gave me a saucer, and I had that at the bottom of my plant of my pot, and then I
Like,
filled it with soil.
inside? That is awesome.
I still can't figure out why I thought a drainage hole was bad.
Hey, you
I
know what?
can't
We can't
but
explain things we do in our youth.
you know you know what? Maybe it's because I was hanging it and I didn't want dirt to come out,
I'm sure, yeah,
but,
it's
like,
like
I mean, it's so dumb. I mean,
because it's like it's not about the health of the plant, it's about decor, and it's
yeah,
2015, and we just wanna look cool.
yes. You know, I might have been okay though because I think eventually it kinda got moved around with, like,
Yeah.
time because I would water and water would still come out, and I was like, "But there's a plate in there, I don't know why it's coming out." So, God bless the plant, at least it, like, knew to move some pot, or plant or, plate, I guess, but oh gosh, that was
Oh,
so bad. That was a
that's
big thing
really
I did.
funny.
So stupid. What was the other thing I did? Oh gosh,
Tell
I mean,
us.
I was lucky. I had your guidance from early on, I think. So I think I was able to skip a few of like the sort of moments, but
Guided you.
for real. But there was definitely I remember when that same succulent started to die, I was trying to save the leaves 'cause, like, I know you can propagate from the leaves. I threw the whole bunch of them into, like, water, being like, "Let's
Oh,
see what happens," and they all rotted, and I was like,
it's mushy.
"No." I put them under a grow light and everything that I had for herbs.
Oh.
Like, it didn't hit me that I could just put them on top of wet soil and let them do their thing
Right.
and let them callus. I was just like, "Gotta save my mother plant." Sort of
Oh.
thing. It was ridiculous, and oh god. I'm trying to remember too, I think a big thing I wanted to try the rocks at the bottom of the pot, I just never got the chance. I mean, some people swear by it, but you just
Well,
have to be very careful.
it's a lot of older people, I've noticed.
It's an old fad for sure.
I think in the ’70s, it was probably a big deal that people did when they were getting into houseplants, like, even sometimes my dad, because he likes plants and he'll help me,
Yeah,
with plant projects when he visits, and he's like, "Should you add rocks at the bottom for extra drainage?" And I'm just like, "No, dad, no."
fine. But is it pots that don't have drainage holes?
Hmm?
It's for pots that don't have drainage
Well,
holes?
even some that do, like,
Oh,
the woman
interesting.
that I got a bunch of my grandpa's plants from, she's in
Yeah.
Southern California, she has beautiful plants everywhere, but she will have like, she gave me a, terracotta pot, she had many of these, and I'm like, "Damn, this thing's heavy." She had rocks at the bottom of it, like, and it was already, like, had a drainage hole in
Yeah.
it, so, I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
so funny. Oh gosh, I think I had, trying to think, I used to have a really bad habit. I'm trying to figure it out. Oh, I thought it was a good idea to put a string of pearls in a dark corner of my house
Oh,
once. At
no.
the old apartment, because it looked gorgeous with my CB2 square shelves.
Oh, I'm
I
sure
was
it
like,
did.
"It looks so beautiful," and I was like I heard mixed reviews, like, online or something about, like, "These will do great indoors," and I'm like, "As long as I put it out for some sunlight and then I bring it back in, it'll be fine," and it just withered away, and I was
Oh,
like,
no.
"Damn," and then when I got my 2nd string of pearls, I put it outside, and it was doing great, it blew up, and then when I moved to this house, they burnt, I don't know if you remember. So
Yep.
then I repropagated them indoors, and brought them back to life. And then I kept them indoors at a south-facing window, and they seem to be doing okay.
There
So I'm
you
like,
go.
yes, because they're such a
It's
pretty
so
indoor plant, but they're not really like meant to be indoors, you know?
I know. Dude, they do the best in the shade outdoors, but, like, I fried mine here. I think it's
Yeah.
slowly
Your big
coming back
one?
to Yes. I think
Oh no.
it's slowly coming back to life, but,
Yeah,
pray
it's
for it.
hard. I will pray for it. I mean, worst comes to worst, you can do what I did because they root really fast in water. I was
Yeah,
shocked.
it's just all burnt.
Oh, the whole thing, not
I'm
just the
seeing
top?
little bits of green coming from the top, but
Okay.
yeah. So,
They'll come back.
we'll see, we'll see.
Yeah, I got lucky. For me, it was just the top that burnt, so all my strands were okay.
Yeah. Well,
I was able to at least, finagle.
yes.
But, we have grown, Holly, as have our plants. I
We
think we're
sure
doing
have.
okay,
We sure have, yes.
getting better.
Yes. Oh
Well,
my gosh.
Holly, thank you for bringing up this subject. I think it's
Oh,
important.
yes, thank you. This was a
We're
good one. I think people
Yes.
can learn a thing or 2 from our mistakes.
God, please don't do what we did. And Holly, where can the people find you on the socials?
So you guys can find me at Concrete Botanical _ on Instagram, at Concrete Botanical on TikTok, and concretebotanical.com for my shop.
Yay! And you guys can find me at Sucka for Plantas with 2 C's in Sucka. You can also catch me very sometimes on TikTok at the Angelique with 3 E's at the end, I think. And you guys can catch the podcast at Boozy Botanical Podcast on Instagram. We drop new episodes every Tuesday on Apple Podcasts, not SoundCloud, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and YouTube for our video episodes. And you
Ew.
guys can email us at boozybotanicalpodcast@gmail.com with any planty questions or stories you might want us to look at. And also,
Yay.
guys, we are planning a Q&A episode. So if you guys
Yes,
want
we
to
are.
email us or DM us any questions, whether it's plant related or about our personal lives, like we're open, we're ready to talk
Yep.
about it. So please send us messages so that we can feature you on the pod. And if you
Yes.
enjoyed what you heard today, please leave us a 5-star rate and review on Apple Podcasts because it really helps us on the charts. And if you didn't enjoy, you better keep that little mouth shut. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Well, happy Boozy Tuesdays, everyone. And on
Happy
that
Boozy
note,
Tuesday. Thanks for listening. And
cheers.
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 I'm Betsy.